We're going to be taking a look at some deleted scenes in the Fast and the Furious 2001, discuss a couple interesting details in these scenes, and just quick disclaimer, for all you people who take this too seriously and don't bother to read my channel name, why are you so serious? Chill out. It's a movie. We all love these movies, but if you're able to poke fun at the things you love, that means you love them a lot more than most of other things, and you're capable of love that has depth and is also unconditional. So, anyways, all right. So we got a lot of interesting stuff here. We've got trailers for soundtrack, games, theme parks in here. Whatever you guys want to see. We've got music videos in here. All the different angles of the Dodge Charger crash. So it's got the angle. Shows them on the ramps. It hasn't been composited together yet. All kinds of cool stuff. Like, if you wanted to see me, like, I don't know, take all those shots and try and do my own edit of the final race, let me know. But we're just looking at deleted scenes today. So we're going to start with all deleted scenes. All right. You guys ready? This should be everything. Yep.
So what are you studying for? You want to be a nurse or something?
Why do you say that?
Well, because you're so concerned about my personal hygiene.
Yeah, but if I was a guy, you would just automatically assume that I was going to be a doctor, right?
Yeah, I'm basically just your average sexist grease monkey.
So maybe it's just because there's no music in this scene, so this kind of feel a little awkward, the dialogue. A lot of these deleted scenes, you'll see the way the actors kind of act out and overact certain things just doesn't fit with the rest of the film. And so watching it can be a little cringy or unusual, or just not quite sit right with the tone of everything else. So saying things like, I'm just your average sexist grease monkey, doesn't really fit with a lot of the other stuff Brian has said throughout the film.
Well, speaking of, it's my brother that wants me to be the doctor. He doesn't quite understand that I gotta get into college first, get straight A's, and then apply to medical school. No, so... Yeah, come on already, get on it.
Well, at least he believes in you.
Yeah, he's leaving me to death. He's on my ass 24/7.
So the interesting thing about Mia having medical training or a medical background of any kind is that in the fourth film, Fast and Furious, this is kind of touched upon again. It's kind of revisited where Mia is the one, she's patching someone up. She's either patching up Dom or Brian or something. And they're all hiding away eating Chinese food or something like that. I don't know if this is the reason why she's doing that stuff later on, or if that's just a coincidence. I would be surprised if it was, but it's just a neat thing to think about, because in the final cut of the film, this medical background stuff is not really touched on at all.
Why do you think it means so much to him?
Maybe he wants me to put him back together for free when he crashes.
So that line right there would have made it almost okay to keep this whole scene in there in the film, because it actually adds a fair amount of depth to the whole relationship between Mia and Dom, because that's not really explored that much. I mean, to be fair, compared to every film past Fast 5 or even Fast and Furious 4, the characters don't really have a lot of depth. Dom's dialogue is actually quite diverse in this film. And hilariously, when he's talking about what happened with Kenny Linder, he says, you know, nothing else matters. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. My family doesn't matter. The mortgage doesn't matter. Blah, 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 blah. But then for the rest of the fucking franchise, he says, family, family, family. Obviously, the original design of the source material of these characters, you know, how they were born and what they were designed to be in this film, I don't 100% believe the characters in the later films are necessarily true to their original forms, if that makes sense. I don't know, we're only 44 seconds into this. I just think it's kind of interesting. There's a lot more going on in the background, though a lot of this is cut, so you could just say this isn't canon. But the implications of a lot of this stuff is still going on. It's just never explained because these scenes aren't there.
He is under a tremendous amount of pressure, just like we are. God, it's getting hard to be in law enforcement. We got OJ on the street. We got officers in jail. Nobody likes us anymore. Come on, let's get you back out there.
You know, that didn't age well. That whole chunk of dialogue could have literally been said in a film released within the last 3 years. And it would still be pretty damn relevant. Creepily relevant. I can see why they didn't include it, though.
Hey, Jess, what are you doing up so early?
Morning. How you doing? Dude, I've been up all night figuring this out. It's a disc in the trailer. I'll be right back. You hang tight. I'm gonna take a piss.
I can see why they didn't include that either. Alright, so you guys... Hold on. We've got exhaust manifold. Is that another exhaust manifold there? I see the gritty section of the exhaust. I see this thing. That's not an exhaust manifold. Is this another exhaust manifold right here? There's 2 exhaust manifolds. You guys confirmed in the comments that I'm not crazy. At least not 100% crazy. But it weirded me out because I'd never noticed that before. And I've watched this film several times.
I was like 5 years old while I'm sitting on my father's lap.
This is a thirst trap.
And both my hands are on the steering wheel.
Jesus Christ, this is such a fucking thirst trap, man.
And it kept going faster and faster. I remember hearing him laughing. Faster we went, the happier he was.
How old were you again?
5.
My mom taught me how to drive.
Your mom?
Yeah, man. I was right before she left, though. Hate her for that, but I can't hate her completely, you know?
First time I drove.
Poor Leon. They decided Leon didn't get to have any backstory or depth, man. Leon and... Jesus. Wouldn't it be weird if Leon came back in the 10th film as like the main villain or something? You guys left me. You all became millionaires and I just ran off to Mexico or something. Obviously he didn't. Otherwise they would have found him, right? They found fucking Vince.
First time I drove was with my learner's permit. And we were on the 40 freeways, my mother and I. The car in front of me locks up its brakes. And then, boom! Someone blew into me from behind.
5-car pileup.
First time I drove.
See what I mean about kind of overacting? Not a totally unrealistic way for someone to speak in real life, but it doesn't quite fit the tone of the rest of the film. You know what I mean?
Before my dad went away, bought me this 71 Malibu Classic. First day I got my license. It's the greatest day. It's also the first day that I had sex. I shit you not.
Something about learning how to...
Y'all, let's hear those laughs one more time.
Something about learning how to drive. Well, you're a driver or you're not a driver. So up until the point you start driving is one lifetime, and then after you start driving is another lifetime.
Yeah, man, I'm glad we didn't race that night. I heard I'd be out some lunch money, huh?
Yeah, you probably would.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how's Dominic treating the rat?
Oh man, that's a long story.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also heard Tran went psycho on that shit, huh?
How'd you hear about that?
Come on, homie. Words. They float in the air. Just
Right.
float.
Right.
Right.
So what do you need?
I can see why they wouldn't include that, because it doesn't really make much of a difference to the story. It doesn't have any true impact or bearing on anything. And also, it's not really much of an explanation. How did you find out about that? Well, here's this weird kind of vague explanation that doesn't actually mean anything or actually explain anything. What is this? Is this the makeout scene? I can't quite tell. It's just fucking blackness. This is after Mia drove around like a psycho.
So this is it. It's my beach. That's my ocean.
And that's your moon?
Yeah, it is. I'm possessive.
Let's pretend I'm reading a fucking transcript of what just happened. They get out of the car. This is my beach, she says. That's my ocean. Brian points at the moon and says, that's your moon. And she goes, yeah, that's my moon. I'm possessive. Cue the makeout session. Booty call. Let's go. fucking hoop style earrings give me anxiety.
Not here.
Why not? You own this beach, bitch. Without going into too much detail, a sedan already doesn't have much room for this sort of thing. A fucking Honda Integra has enough room for this? Alright.